It's 1 week until Thanksgiving. We're thankful you tune your smart speaker or your dial to 94.9 and 99.1 The River anytime. We're especially thankful you do so Thursday mornings at 9 a.m. That's the time it is now. That's when we bring you Our Town right here on the radio. It's brought to you by Decorah Bank and Trust. We got a 3 guest program on the show this morning. Gary Boden, city manager of Waukon. We also will have Carson Eggland. He is with Helping Services for Youth and Family. The Holiday Lights fundraiser will open up next Wednesday night with the walkthrough night next Thursday night for the regularly scheduled Holiday Lights 20th year of that event this year. Carson will tell us all about it, but it's the holiday season. We're getting into the holiday spirit, the holiday shopping season, all sorts of fun to be had over the next month plus. And we'll be checking in on a few Chamber of Commerce's over the next couple of weeks. And this week, we will check in with Jessica Rilling. She is with the Decorah Area Chamber of Commerce. Holiday Open House was last weekend in Decorah. Peppermint Walk coming up this weekend. Holiday Parade coming up. Countdown to Christmas. All sorts of things to discuss on the deals that you can get and the specialty gifts you can get in the Decorah area. Jessica will be the first guest on this morning's edition of Our Town. It's brought to you by Decorah Bank and Trust. And you have your dial set to 94.9 and 99.1 The River. It's that time of year where we talk about holiday shopping. Christmas, a little over a month away. Get your shopping done before here too long. I know most of us men, we do our best work under pressure, but I digress. Jessica Rilling is with us from the Decorah Area Chamber of Commerce. And Jessica, things got underway with the holiday open houses last weekend in Decorah. And you got another event coming up this weekend involving the holiday season. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, well, we had a great holiday open house weekend. Good weather in town. The Holiday Hootenanny, which is a fun event that quite a few small businesses put on together. And of course, just all the stores being decorated for the holidays, and some really amazing window displays. But yes, this upcoming weekend is the Peppermint Walk. This is a free, fun event, really just encouraging folks to shop local. We do have like 30 stores participating, and they'll all have a card that looks like this. If you go to 3 and buy something at each, you get a peppermint signed. And if you get all 3 signed, you can turn the card in at one of the participating stores and be entered to win a peppermint basket, which has fun decorations and, of course, peppermint scented things. So just a good way to get out and about. There's quite a few new stores. If people haven't shopped in Decorah for a while or are visiting, we're encouraging them to stop into some of those new businesses and welcome them and check them out and shop for holiday things there. There were quite a few that opened this year, Darren. I don't know if you've been in Jubilee or Coffee Break or Interior Design by Emily. Those are all new. Jenny Wren Gift Market. A lot of people remember sparrows, especially this time of year when you want a holiday scented candle. So they still carry a really nice candle, set of candle lines, and it's in the same place as sparrows, but that's now Jenny Wren. So yeah, just a shop local weekend. And if you know you're going to be buying some stuff, the odds are good at winning a peppermint basket.
And you mentioned the new businesses that have popped up really within the last year in the city of Decorah. What does that say about really the positive retail environment that the community has right now? Because that isn't happening every place. Let's be honest.
Yeah, Decorah has a very robust, I would say, just shopping district, and it's advantageous to start or open or grow your business here. So even during the pandemic, that was happening here, which was not the case, like you said, everywhere. And yeah, in the last year to have more businesses opening in these downtown spaces is really exciting. And I think it says that we have the draw and the customer base, but also that the shop owners feel welcome and supported. And like it's a good strategy. It's a good place to start your business. So I mean, even the people remember Bargain Outlet
Mm-hmm.
and beautiful space, really in the heart of the downtown. This December, it will have had an empty first floor storefront for 10 years. In January, Rendered Unique will open a space in there. I don't know if you saw that. So just after holidays, you'll want to look for Rendered Unique still at the location everybody remembers during Christmas, but that'll be, just another great thing happening in that downtown space. And we're excited about that.
And another thing the chamber has done for many years that's back again this year is the Countdown to Christmas promotion. Tell us all about that.
Yeah, well, this is a longtime town favorite. Again, really encouraging people to shop local and rewarding people who do by drawing winners. So the gift bags that people win, there'll be 20 this year, are filled with great stuff from our local businesses, gift cards, and really nice items from the stores, really nice products. So those are pretty easy. Most small businesses participate. They're just little slips that you fill out for every $25 you spend, and you get a chance to win. So we do those prize drawings here at the chamber on the Fridays of December. But yeah, that's a nice collaboration. I don't know very many other towns this size that have that much collaboration for a holiday promotion, which says a lot about Decorah. So yeah, that one's fun and easy and free, and you just have to shop local and then fill out some little slips and be entered to win.
And you mentioned those drawings will be held on Friday. Or is that through the 27th or the 20th? With Christmas in the middle of the week this year, I
Yeah.
got to ask questions like this.
Yep. And we know people are shopping for stuff right up until the holiday. So this year it will be each Friday. So there will be a drawing after Christmas
Okay.
that'll take place. Yeah, Christmas on Wednesday is a little bit tricky. But yeah, we'll have a drawing on that Friday after.
But you know what? We'll all manage. Of course, coming up a week from this Friday, Black Friday, all important business day, all important retail day, all throughout America, and especially here in Decorah. Why should folks come to Decorah on a Black Friday to find that special gift for the holiday season?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the message of shopping local is something we talk about all the time. Obviously, the holiday is particularly a good time. It's an important quarter for all the small businesses. And if people, this Friday is Pink Friday, which I think some folks have heard of and maybe others not so much. But that's a nationwide event to support small local businesses ahead of Black Friday, which is notoriously like the big box store shopping. So, Pink Friday's Friday. We have Peppermint Walk this weekend. Then we, of course, have Thanksgiving, Black Friday, and Small Business Saturday. All of them are good days to shop local. And what I would encourage folks to do is just build local into their plan. So if they're going to be out of town for Black Friday and Small Business Saturday, maybe this is a good weekend coming up here with Pink Friday and Peppermint Walk to be in the downtown and support the businesses and the shop owners that are located here. So yeah, there's no bad time to buy local. And this is our town is so vibrant, and the downtown is a great place to open business because people shop there. So,
and of course, Small Business Saturday coming up a week from this Saturday. And we talked about the need to shop local and the importance of shopping local. And the nice thing about the Decorah business climate, you can really find that unique gift that you can't find anywhere else at many places in the Decorah area.
Yeah, I mean, you can just walk through the downtown and, find a kitchen store, bookstore, pet store, women's clothing, amazing home decor. Like it's a really diverse set of stores. And so arguably you could find something for everybody on your list just walking the loop through the downtown.
And of course, coming up in a couple of weeks, the Christmas parade, always a fun event. When's that going to take place this year?
Yeah, so we know a lot of people enjoy Christmas at Luther that first weekend of December. So the Water Street Lighted Parade is the week that follows. So Friday, December 13th. And that's a 6 o'clock start. We start down kind of close to the Dry Run Plaza Park, like Oneota Family Eye Care. We start down there and it's just Water Street. So the parade starts at that end and goes just past Vesterheim and turns down Mill Street. So a shorter parade, which is good if it's cold, but that one's fun. This is really about having displays and parade entries that have lights on them. And the theme this year is Vintage Christmas. So people have used that theme in their shop windows and other things, but it is also our parade theme.
Anything else we need to know about the holiday season here in Decorah, as long as you got the forum this morning?
Well, I would say if folks wanted to be in the parade, we have the forum up on the chamber website, or they can call us. It doesn't cost anything, and it's a fun time. So they can let us know if they have questions. But yeah, besides that, I would just say get out and support your local business owners this holiday season. Make a plan for that.
All right, Jessica, always good catching up with you and seeing all that's going on with the Decorah Area Chamber of Commerce. Peppermint event coming up this weekend, countdown to Christmas coming up this weekend, and great time of year to be a Decorah resident and have all the luxury and the amenities that we have in the Decorah area, and you can find that special and unique gift. Thanks for taking the time, and I know it's a week early, but happy Thanksgiving to you and your family.
Happy Thanksgiving. Yeah.
Jessica Rilling with the Decorah Area Chamber of Commerce. Well, the most wonderful time of the year is upon us, and the holiday season will be coming soon. And part of the holiday season in Northeast Iowa is holiday lights put on by the Helping Services for Youth and Families, and that begins next week. Carson Eggland joining us from Helping Services. And Carson, a little bit of a milestone year for holiday lights, from what I understand.
Yeah, absolutely, Darren. Thanks for having me. Yeah, this is the 20th season of Holiday Lights, if you can believe it. We're just thrilled to reach that milestone. Time flies, it seems like. Yeah, but this is officially the 20th season of Holiday Lights at Pulpit Rock Campground in Decorah.
What has kept this event going for 20 years?
Yeah, I'd say a couple things, Darren. Volunteers, for sure. We have probably 300 volunteers that help out throughout from start to finish, set up during the event and then tear down. So that momentum has kept the event going over the years. And also sponsors. I mean, we have nearly 140 sponsors that contribute to the success of Holiday Lights. So that's a huge one too, because without them, we wouldn't be able to do the event. So sponsors and the community, volunteers, those are the things that keeps this event going.
And one of the events related to Holiday Lights that started just a few years ago was the walkthrough night on Wednesday night, and that will take place next week. Tell us what will go on walkthrough night next Wednesday night out at Pulpit Rock Campground.
Yeah, absolutely. And this has become a wonderful tradition. This is always the Wednesday night before Thanksgiving. So this year it'll be Wednesday, November 27th. The only night of the year you can walk through the lights. The rest of the nights are drive-through. 5 o'clock to 7:30, the park will be open for walkthrough. A couple highlights from the night. We'll have soup, we'll have hot chocolate, we'll have Pokey Pete, Santa, photos with Santa, I should say. It's just a really fun evening. So if you have the chance, I'd really encourage you to check it out. 5 o'clock to 7:30. Folks can park at the soccer field just down the street and then grab an Earl shuttle. Earl donates their time to provide shuttle rides from the parking area to the campground. That's probably the easiest way to do it. If it's a nice night, you could walk as well down the path, but that would be the easiest way to get there. And again, 5 o'clock to 7:30 next Wednesday for the walkthrough night.
And then the event for drive-through purposes will get underway on Thanksgiving night. What will be the hourly schedule for the nights
Yep.
of holiday lights?
Yeah, great question. So the drive-through event will be every night from Thanksgiving through Christmas night. So Christmas night's the last night, 5 o'clock to 9 o'clock. Santa will be at the park Friday, Saturday, Sundays throughout the year from 5 o'clock to 7:30. So if you'd like to see Santa over the weekend, just make sure you show up a little early. Santa will be around. And again, the park hours, though, will be 5 o'clock to 9 o'clock every night from Thanksgiving to Christmas.
And of course, this is a fundraiser for Helping Services. And what, with the money that is raised from this event, what does Helping Services, what does that allow, I guess, Helping Services to do? That's a better way to put it.
Yeah, well, it's critically important. Helping Services has been around for over 50 years now. This event is certainly our largest fundraiser that we host. It really fills gaps of greatest needs. So some of the main programs it supports would be our domestic violence resource center. We have a 24/7 line that's answered by advocates. We have a youth mentoring program that pairs trusted adults with youth in our communities. We have an in-home family education program. So if you have a little one and you'd like some resources, you could give our office a call. Those are some of the main programs that Helping Service, that Holiday Lights help support. And Helping Services is in 8 counties. It's not just a Decorah thing. We have staff and offices in 8 Northeast Iowa counties. It just so happens that Decorah is where our main office is located. But I need listeners to know that services are available in your county if you live in Northeast Iowa. Helpingservices.org is a good way to start, or you can call us at 563-387-1720.
And just looking at your website related to the Holiday Lights event and the number of displays that you have this year, that number of displays is eating a lot of gigabytes on my computer. Obviously, a lot of people are willing to get involved and sponsor those displays, going back to that sponsorship being key in keeping this event sustainable. How many of these displays, to your knowledge, are kind of old favorites? How many new displays are you going to have this year?
Well, it depends on you ask. We try to get a tally of, especially at that walkthrough night, I'll go around and ask people what their favorite display is, and a lot of different answers. We do have a couple new displays this year, so you'll have to be on the lookout for those. We have a Santa driving a school bus. We have a Santa tossing a pizza, and we have a firefly. So we do have only limited space at the campground, so we can only put so many displays in the campground, but no, there's still room for a few more. So we try to change it up a little bit each year just to make sure that we keep the event fresh and have people guess and figure out which ones are new. It's a popular question we get asked. Yeah, there's some great displays out there. So I just really thank the community for continuing to support the event. It's free will donations again. So we encourage everyone and anyone to come check out the event. Volunteers will be there at the gate, accepting free will donations every night. Don't let that stop you. We really want everyone to enjoy this event.
Anything we're missing, Carson? Anything else that needs to be passed on to the public, as long as you got the forum?
Yeah, I guess I would just, we do have if you're interested in learning a little bit about the history of Holiday Lights, I'd encourage you to go to our website, helpingservices.org. My coworker, Renee, put together a really great overview of the past 20 years of the lights and where and how it got started and where we're at now. So it's a neat read if you have some time. But really, I would just encourage you to, if you know someone who might need our services or would be interested in a program, I'd really encourage folks to give out our number. Let people know, helpingservices.org, 563-387-1720. If we can't help you, we'll make sure to direct you to someone who might. Certainly we get calls, and sometimes those calls are better directed to other agencies, and that's okay. We really just want to make sure that we connect people to what they need. So that's the most important thing, probably, Darren, for people to know that we are here. Please reach out if you think we can help.
And this event helps you serve the community when that's what this is all about. And I think one of the cool things in the big picture with this event, you look at a holiday lights display like this, doing this in a town the size of Decorah and having it sustained for this many years just really speaks to the area and the community itself. You agree?
Absolutely. And I guess I just go back to what I said earlier. This would not happen without volunteers. I mean, we have groups out there. We had groups out there the first Monday in November. They've been out there the last 2.5 weeks. And they'll be there with us through the end, and the high school wrestling teams from Decorah and South Wind helped with some of the teardown, both the boys and the girls teams, make it a fun couple days out of the campground. So, I mean, really from start to finish, this would not happen without volunteers. So I just really want to convey my gratitude and thanks to the community.
Well, Carson, we appreciate you taking some time telling us about holiday lights. All the fun starts next Wednesday night with the walkthrough night, Thanksgiving night. If you're full on turkey, hop in the car, drive through the displays, get yourself in the holiday spirit to go out shopping that weekend. And most importantly, it allows you guys to do a lot of good in this community. Thanks for the time. We'll probably catch up with you later on during the event here in December. Thanks for the time and best of luck with holiday lights.
Thanks so much, Darren. Appreciate it.
Carson Eggland with helping services for youth and family holiday lights starting next Wednesday night with a walkthrough night at the Pulpit Rock Campground in Decorah. Time now for our monthly conversation with Waukon City Manager Gary Boden. The City Council discussed a number of things. Granted, a lot of the initial conversations on some of these matters had taken place already, but they got their work done in just over a half an hour come Monday night. First things, Gary, let's talk about the changes that were made in regards to parking in the downtown area and related to snow removal in the downtown area. Explain what's going on first on the parking end of things.
Well, there's going to be a separate circumstance as far as how we do snow removal in the downtown area, an area bounded by 2nd Avenue North, 2nd Avenue West, 2nd Avenue East, and 2nd Avenue South. There we will have snow removal that will effectively pick up the snow and move it out as quick as possible, as well as allowing for the snow shoveling to push the snow into the street so that it can be removed. It'll be based in part upon the snowfall events, but it's an area that has been determined to be the downtown, so that we will do a special type of snow removal as compared to what we do out in the residential areas.
And what brought the discussion to the level it got to on Monday night?
Well, since I've been here for 5 years, the city has struggled with the idea of how to do it. And finally, I think this might have been the 3rd or 4th committee that was put together to resolve this issue. They finally came up with this kind of a proposal. I think it's probably a good one, although everybody thinks that if in fact there's something else that needs to be done, they will quote unquote tweak it to improve it. But the whole idea here is just to have a better process of getting snow out of downtown.
And related to snow removal, what do the downtown business owners and the property owners need to know regarding getting snow removal off of their sidewalks and their properties?
Well, in the past, there was a discussion about the standard has always been you can't push snow out into the street. Well, where would it go? Particularly when we're talking about downtown where there's little or no boulevards available to stack it. The other thing is as people know, is that if we stacked it on the very edge, you got to jump over these piles to get onto the sidewalk. So a more improved method of, or a more improved process of snow removal is being instituted. And to be honest with you, it's a process that's probably very typically found in many other cities. We've just struggled as to how to make this happen, and it's been an ongoing concern for quite some time, even before I was here.
And those basically new ordinances are on the books right now, correct?
Well, yeah, I mean the approvals have been done, and in fact we're printing the ordinances in the newspaper as we're required by law. That information is going to the newspaper so that it'll be out next week, and that's when the ordinance will come into effect. Fortunately, I don't think we have much snow in the offing here right now, although we're having snow flurries right now as we speak. But I think we'll be fine. And this new process, I think, will actually be a benefit not just to the property owners in downtown, but also the patrons that utilize these business services.
All right. And moving on to other matters, there was a public hearing on an ordinance changing the rates for water service. What is going to happen to a typical resident's water bill?
Well, the rate increase is specifically for the water service, which is I'd say about 28% of the overall bill. And we're talking about a 10% increase on that service cost. That water rate increase will amount to approximately $3.50 per bill, which means that you take that number and multiply it by 6, because we do my bi-monthly billing now. So the overall impact is going to be small. Coupled with the storm sewer increase, we're talking about a combination of about $7.50 per bi-monthly billing. So the cost of about 2 gallons of gas is what this increase would be over a 2-month period of time.
And to remind residents, obviously no one wants to pay more, but there is a necessity of revenue coming into the city to make sure upkeeps can remain as good as they possibly can. Why were these increases needed?
Well, specifically for water, we need to build our reserves up so that we can do capital improvement repairs and things of that sort. We haven't done any kind of a revenue adjustment. We do a small cost of living adjustment every year in July, and that takes care of the mundane things like salaries and things of that sort. But we do not have a strong reserve in our water fund to take care of on-site repairs in a variety of areas. And part of the reason for that is that a few years ago, in fact, about 2 years ago, we completed the implementation of the remote water reader program, which required new installations of meters, new installations of the telephosponders that telemetrically send the billing information to the city. Now, all of that costs about $700,000, and we paid for that completely out of the water fund, for which there was no rate increase to offset that cost. And that was fine. We needed to take care of that. We have a much more improved water billing and water monitoring process now that also obviously impacts the sanitary sewage treatment process also. But in doing so, we kind of drained out the money that we need to make, I don't want to say routine repairs, but repairs that come up over the course of a year. If we have a main break or things like that, and it requires a little bit more intense work as opposed to just fixing a service leak or something like that. We really are short on that kind of funding. As far as water is concerned, long term, we're probably going to have to deal with more of this, because there's improvements that we're required to make as far as dealing with our water service and our water delivery systems. Some of this is federally mandated, and we're going to have to recognize that there's a big portion of our water systems 100, 125 years old, and stuff wears out. And I think that this is something that, at least in the short term, we'll be able to address some of the problems that are caused by that. We are also looking at expending money for water main replacements in the near term. Some of it we hope will be offset by grants, but there will be other costs that are related that we do not have funding for, but we're going to have to make a determination and prioritization as a city as to how we're going to fund this and at what type of at what kind of priority that we spend the money for making system improvements.
And that was related to the water service end of things. Why was an increase needed when it comes to storm and surface water drainage system services?
Well, first of all, we have never increased that revenue source since it was instituted, I think, 9 or 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Secondly, we have similar requirements for which we need to make improvements to our storm sewers and our stormwater management systems, like detention ponds and drainage basins, open ditches, and things of that sort. And right now, we do not have an identifiable funding source for doing that. We're doing ditch cleaning, for instance, and ditch repair and all of that, which realistically is coming out of the road use tax, and it's questionable as to whether, in fact, it's even an eligible expense. So what we're going to do is offset those costs through this stormwater fee increase, and like I said, that'll go from $2 a month to $4 a month. $4 would be a $4 increase on your utility bill. But that will allow us to offset some of the costs that are related to the development, or not the development, but the maintenance that we need to undertake so that we maintain our stormwater management. We have 2 detention ponds. We have, as I said, ditches. All of these things need to have funding to offset those costs. Simultaneously, that money can also go and offset the cost that was being offset by the road use tax, that can allow us to actually put money away indirectly for new equipment that inevitably will be needed as time goes with our street department.
And another thing, you just touched on it regarding potentially looking at grant funding for some of the improvements you just touched upon. There was a discussion regarding applying for some community development block grant funding. What came out of that topic of discussion?
Well, the council approved the application for it, recognized that we could be eligible for up to $500,000 for projects that we can identify that would be CBDG eligible. We have to recognize that while we're making applications for these grants are competitive. So in and of itself, it's not going to slam dunk, but we're going to get into the line here to see if we can get this money. It's not an ongoing funding source either. It's typically a one-time thing for about every 2 or 3 years. We have much more than $500,000 of water and sewer improvements that need to be made in this community. And this will offset at least a portion of that cost, but I think we can identify right now probably somewhere in the range of $2 to $3 million of improvement needs that could very easily be undertaken in the next 2 to 3 years.
And related to the competitiveness of these grants, how are these grants judged? What would give one community an edge over another when it comes to applying for this grant money?
Well, one of the things that has been done is a determination of need from the standpoint of our community and our need versus local low moderate income people in our community, and we have an LMI value that determines that we can be eligible for these grants given that circumstance. There's that ability to pay argument. CBDGs are given out that way, and as a result, there's all kinds of communities that are interested in doing this and trying to make these applications work from the standpoint of need. We also have to demonstrate the specifics of a project. We have to have an engineering design, or I shouldn't say design, but a predetermination by engineers to pursue these things, these types of grants for repairs. And then the state looks at these applications and determines just exactly how much need there is versus other communities that are likewise making an application.
I know the community has talked about the improvement in the housing stock in this community, and you saw a little bit of that earlier this month come to fruition with the groundbreaking of the apartment complex that we have touched on several times during our conversation. How exciting is it that some of these initiatives that you've talked about and the council have talked about for quite some time are really coming to fruition now?
Oh, most significantly, 2025 is going to be a big year for our community as far as construction of housing. Not just the 36 units that Dexter, Quandel, and Q4 are going to build on the south side of town, but also we're going to start to see this construction of twin houses on the north side off of 9th Street Northwest. We fully expect that there will be construction on, 8 units on the north side and 36 on the south side. That's a lot of housing added into our housing stock. And that's being done with the understanding there's options by both parties to do 36 more units on the south side and another 8 more units on the north side, so that we could really see a significant uptick in our housing, not just in 25, but in 26 into 27. I think that this is a need that not only we would see in Waukon, but really in our region. As I've said many times, the housing market that is being addressed is probably in a radius of 20 to 30 miles from Waukon. The housing needs are not just local; it's truly regional, and I fully expect that the units in this first phase of both of these projects will be easily filled. The real question is how confident are our builders doing the second phase, for which I feel relatively positive about. I think that there is a significant opportunity here for expanding housing, and credit to the city council. They recognize the need, and we have been addressing it on a rather assertive basis here for the last 2 or 3 years.
That's what's covered on my Microsoft Word document. I used to say notebook, but we got to be green here in today's 2024. Gary, anything else you want to pass on from the city's perspective, as long as you got the form?
Well, we are just now instituting the process of putting together the upcoming fiscal 26 budget, which will start in July, but our approval process is very rigorously dictated by procedures established by the state. We know that we're going to actually start working on putting together a staffing proposal of the budget that will start in December and continue on into January. We will start having budget discussions in January, February with the council, with an understanding that we have to have special meetings establishing the property tax rates, and also special meeting, or not a special meeting, but a budget meeting that would ultimately result in approval of our next year's budget by the end of April. If we don't get it done by the end of April, we actually can be penalized by the state because they require us to have it in by the last day of April.
All right. And as long as we're touching on that, we've talked about the property tax reform from the state level and the headaches that has caused local municipalities. Are expecting more of the same when you go through this process?
Well, part of it is how much is our assessed valuation going to change in this upcoming year? Actually, I don't expect this upcoming year is going to be that significant, given the fact that we have a revaluation every other year. And what happens in the interim is that any changes in property values of existing structures is based upon sales of those individual properties, plus any new construction that's been added to the tax rolls. This year, because we don't have revaluation throughout the entire inventory of properties in our county, I don't expect much change. The only issue that's outstanding here is what we can do versus our needs, and what our needs are versus what revenues we get. The big concern that I would have is a year from now when revaluation takes place again, and depending on how much our values go up is also a determining factor of how much revenue can be generated from property taxes. There is a conundrum in this state right now that I think the legislature is beginning to understand, that there's a concern because there's a real problem at the municipal government level of how to fund police departments as far as their wages and benefits are concerned. With the Back the Blue type of initiatives that have been established, there isn't really good revenue sources to maintain a reasonable wage for our police officers at the municipal level, mainly because our limitations and how we fund those is directly related to the property tax reform. Police departments throughout the state are funded by the general fund, and the property tax reform has specifically targeted general fund costs and general fund revenues. There's the law of unintended consequences here. When we did property tax reforms and put limitations on how much money can be generated by property taxes, that comes up exactly against two things: police department, and then parks and recs, and in our case, libraries, the quality of life issues. It's a struggle, and it's a struggle that city managers clearly understand, city councils clearly understand, and it's a struggle that, whether we want to acknowledge it or not, we're going to have to take some prioritizations as to just exactly what's important for our community. I know of other cities, and in fact, I talked with somebody today from a different city that are really stressed compared to Waukon about what kind of services they're going to maintain and what kind of services they can provide to the cities that they have traditionally done, but now they're under the gun as to whether, in fact, they can maintain it.
All right, Gary, appreciate the information and the knowledge as always. Look forward to our conversation next month. Happy Thanksgiving to you and yours.
Same to you.
Gary Boden, City Manager of Waukon. Hey, thank you to the guests on the program: Jessica Rilling with the Decorah Area Chamber of Commerce, Carson Eggland with Holiday Lights preview from Northeast Iowa, or helping services for youth and family, available to 8 area counties here in Northeast Iowa. And always good to catch up with Waukon City Manager Gary Boden. A reminder, each and every week we put these shows on YouTube. You can actually watch these interviews. We're also realizing you're busy. You got a lot of things going on, but we get to talk to interesting people about interesting topics, and we want to bring you those conversations on your schedule. If you're out and about on YouTube, it's 1121 at Our Town Program. That's the way to search it. We also put these links up on all of our Facebook pages. It's the best way for us at LA Communications to keep in touch with our communities, because without you, none of this makes sense. Don't forget, that's a way you can catch the program if you can't tune in live at 9 a.m. on Thursday mornings. Thank you to our sponsor, Decorah Bank and Trust. Thank you to our guest, and we thank you, that's right, you, for tuning in, for logging on, or for watching Our Town. on 94.9 and 99.1 The River.